Yusuf, ayah number 43. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الملك إني أرى 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في رؤياي إن كنتم للرؤيا تعبرون قالوا أضغاث أحلام وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي نستغفر الله ربنا من كل ذنب ونتوب إليه ربنا زدنا علما اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Okay, alhamdulillah. So Surah Yusuf, ayah number 43. So we stopped yesterday where at Yusuf a.s. being in the prison, right? Yusuf a.s. goes to the prison, he was slandered, and he's doing da'wah to the prison mates. And then what happens next? He tells the person who's going to be rescued to go and tell the king that tell about me and get me out of here. So we see وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ إِنِّي أَرَى 7 بَقَرَاتٍ سِمَانٍ. And the king said, I see in my dream 7 fat cows يَأْكُلُهُنَّ 7 عِجَافٍ. They are being eaten by 7 lean ones. وَسَبْعَ سُنبُلَاتٍ خُضْرٍ. And I see 7 ears of green grain and وَأُخْرَى يَابِسَاتٍ and 7 others, 7 dried ones. So he sees this weird dream of 7 thin cows eating 7 fat ones, and then he sees 7 ears of green grains and then 7 dried ones. Ya ayyuhal malak, he addresses his chieftain, says, O malak, aftuni fi ru'yaya in kuntum li ru'ya ta'burun. Tell me about my dream if you can interpret dreams. So obviously they cannot interpret dreams. So what do they say? قَالُوا أَضْغَاثُ أَحْلَامٍ. This is a confused dream. وَمَا نَحْنُ بِتَأْوِيلِ الْأَحْلَامِ بِعَالِمِينَ. And we don't have any knowledge of interpreting the dreams. On one side they're saying that we don't know how to interpret dreams, and then on the other side they're actually interpreting and saying it's a confused dream. Right? That shows how ignorant the people were around him. Right? قَالَ الَّذِي نَجَا مِنْهُمَا. The one who was released from the 2 of them, right? The prison mate who was rescued, and he said, وَادَّكَرَ بَعْدَ أُمَّةٍ. And he recalled after a period, and then he said, أَنَا أُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِتَأْوِيلِهِ فَأَرْسِلُونَ. I will tell you of its interpretation, send me to Yusuf a.s. And then he goes to Yusuf a.s. Yusuf, أَيُّهَا الصِّدِّيقُ. O Yusuf, the truthful one, أَفْتِنَا فِي 7 بَقَرَاتٍ سِمَانٍ. Tell us, explain to us of the 7 fat cows يأكلهن 7 عجاف, which are eaten by 7 thin ones, و7 سنبلات خضر, and the 7 green ears of corn, وأخرى يابسات, and the other 7 dried up. لعلي أرجع إلى الناس, so that I can go to the people, لعلهم يعلمون, so that they know. So he remembers Yusuf a.s. and then he comes to him and tells his dream. قَالَ تَزْرَعُونَ. Now Yusuf a.s. interprets his dream. Says, قَالَ تَزْرَعُونَ 7 سِنِينَ دَأَبًا. Ayah number 47, Surah Yusuf. He says, تَزْرَعُونَ 7 سِنِينَ دَأَبًا. That you will sow 7 years as usual, right? You will have harvest for 7 years. فَمَا حَصَدْتُمْ. And whatever you reap, فَذَرُوهُ فِي سُنبُلِهِ. Leave that in the ears, إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِمَّا تَأْكُلُونَ. Except for that which you consume. So he's saying for the next 7 years, whatever you get, eat what you need, and the rest of it store it. And then he's telling them how to store it. You should store it with the grains should be inside, the corn should be in the ears, within it. Okay, within the ears. Years is this years, right? Not this year, actually. EAR, which means the corn here. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك, that after that, من بعد ذلك سبع شداد, 7 hard years will come. يأكلن ما قدمتم لهن إلا قليلا مما تحصنون, and you will consume from what you have put in advance, إلا قليلا مما تحصنون, except for that which you used to store. So what he's saying to them is 7 years is going to be a good years, prosperous, and 7 years you will have drought and there won't be any crops. So you should save up for the first 7 years, save up for the next 7 years, and only eat that which you need. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام, and after these 7 years, 7 years, what's going to happen is you will have 1 year فيه يغاث الناس, where there will be abundant rain on people, وفيه يعصرون, and people will be pressing, meaning they will have enough crops that they'll be pressing the fruits, making juice, and like pressing the corn, and squeezing oil and stuff. يعصرون وقال الملك ائتوني بي. So he goes to the king and then he informs, and the king says, ائتوني بي, bring Yusuf alayhi salam to me. So here's something, before I move on, here's something important, that Yusuf alayhi salam is using his skill to benefit the people. Right? That he's not using this opportunity to rip from them, right? And get all the money he can. Before I give you the interpretation of the dream, first you have to give me a lot of money, right? He's not demanding that, and we see that he gives more than what's required. He doesn't just interpret the dream, but he actually tells them how you should store and what's the best way of doing it. Right? So we see that he was doing above his level, which means he was a muhsin. And we see that name coming constantly, that inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see that you are righteous muhsin, who does above and beyond. So that is what Yusuf alayhi salam does. So the king says, bring him to me. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ الرَّسُولُ, when the messenger came to him, this prison maid, قَالَ ارْجِعْ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. So this messenger came to Yusuf alayhi salam saying, the king is calling you, you're released, and come out. And then he says, ارجع إلى ربك, go back to your master, go back to the king, and then فَاسْأَلْهُ مَا بَالُ النِّسْبَةِ اللَّاتِي قَطَّعْنَ أَيْدِيَهُنَّ. Ask him about the state of the ladies who cut their hands. إِنَّ رَبِّي بِكَيْدِهِنَّ عَلِيمٌ. Verily, the plot of my master is all-knowing. He doesn't want to come out of the prison just like that. He wants his innocence to be proven before he comes out. So people don't say that, look, he made a mistake and he got out of it. And he knows that he's going to be a minister, right? Yusuf already understood that he's going to be a finance minister, someone in a high level. And he doesn't want people to say that, look, these rich people, they make crimes and they get over it and they don't have any punishment. He wants innocence to be proven. قال ما خطبكن إذ راودتن يوسف عن نفسه. So he said, what is the matter with you when you sought to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam against himself? So this is a king calling the woman who tried to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam, many years ago, and he says, what's the matter with you? Tell me about that. قُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ. And all those women, they confess, حَاشَ لِلَّهِ, may Allah forbid, مَا عَلِمْنَا عَلَيْهِ مِنْ سُوءٍ. We don't know anything wrong. We don't know anything bad about Yusuf alayhi salam. قَالَتْ امْرَأَةُ الْعَزِيزِ. Then the wife of the Aziz, like the wife who tried, the woman who tried to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam, she says, الآن حصحص الحق. Now the truth has come. أنا راودته عن نفسي. It was in fact me who tried to seduce him. وإنه لمن الصادقين. And verily he was from the truthful ones. I tried to seduce him for myself, and he was from the truthful ones. And then Yusuf says, ذَلِكَ لِيَعْلَمْ أَنِّي لَمْ أَخُنْهُ بِالْغَيْبِ. That is, I made all of this happen, I made them confess, so that أَنِّي لَمْ أَخُنْهُ بِالْغَيْبِ, so that he knows, meaning the master, Aziz, right? Her husband knows that لَمْ أَخُنْهُ بِالْغَيْبِ, I did not betray him in secrecy, وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي كَيْدَ الْخَائِنِينَ, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide the plot of the betrayers. And some scholars have disagreement on who said this. Some say it's the woman who said this, but some say that it's Yusuf alayhi salam. Wallahu alam. وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي. And then after telling that I want my innocence to be proven, and then Yusuf says, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي. I don't absolve myself. إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. Indeed, the human self wants to do evil. Ammara is a kind of nafs which wants to do, ammaratun bisu, which wants to do evil, illa ma rahima rabbi, except for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows mercy upon. So here Yusuf is saying that I want to show that I'm innocent, but at the same time he's saying I can't guarantee that I can be innocent, because only Allah can protect anybody he wants. Inna Rabbi ghafurur rahim. Verily my master is most forgiving and most merciful. وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ ائْتُونِي بِهِ أَسْتَخْلِصْهُ لِنَفْسِي. And the king said, bring him to me, bring Yusuf to me. أَسْتَخْلِصْهُ لِنَفْسِي. I'm going to make him exclusive for myself. فَلَمَّا كَلَّمَهُ. So when he spoke to him, قَالَ إِنَّكَ الْيَوْمَ لَدَيْنَا مَكِينٌ أَمِينٌ. So the king speaks to Yusuf says, Yusuf, today, إِنَّكَ, verily you, today, لَدَيْنَا, with us, مَكِينٌ أَمِينٌ, will have a trusted, established rank. You'll have a high position with us. قَالَ جَعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ. Now Yusuf says, O king, make me the one responsible over the treasures, right? Make me عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ إِنِّي حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. Verily I am one who protects and well informed. So the two qualities of a leader: Hafiz, someone who's trustworthy, and someone who is knowledgeable, who's competent. Right? Person has to be, when you trying to hire someone or get someone to do something, you have to look for these two qualities. Hafiz, is that person trustworthy, and is he knowledgeable? Does he know what he's doing? Now a question comes up. The Prophet ﷺ says that you should not seek leadership. Don't give leadership to those who seek it. And here we see Yusuf saying, make me the leader, make me the finance minister and the person who's going to safeguard the treasures. How is that possible? And the scholars mentioned the only condition is that when you know that there is nobody better than you to take the leadership. When you know it's time for salah and there's nobody to lead the salah, and you want to be humble, you want to humble yourself, but you know that there is nobody to take that charge, then you have to come up and take that position. وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Ayah number 56, Surah Yusuf. And that is how we established Yusuf alayhi salam in the land, يَتَبَوَّأُ مِنْهَا حَيْثُ يَشَاءُ, to settle him down wherever we want. نُصِيبُ بِرَحْمَتِنَا مَنْ نَشَاءُ. And we bestow our mercy on whomever we wills. وَلَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And we don't waste the reward of the righteous. Right? And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised Yusuf alayhi salam. That's what we wanted. We wanted Yusuf alayhi salam to reach that high level. And we don't waste the reward of the righteous people. Some people probably thinking, Yusuf alayhi salam, what did he do to deserve all this, difficult life in prison? Why isn't Allah merciful? Why isn't Allah, loving him and taking care of him? Allah is saying, no, we don't waste the reward of the righteous people. We wanted him to be a finance minister of Egypt, and that's what we made him go through all these situations. وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. Verily the reward of the hereafter is better for those who have iman and those who guard themselves, those who have fear. Ayah number 58, Surah Yusuf. وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ يُوسُف. Then the brothers of Yusuf came to him. فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ. So they entered upon him. فَعَرَفَهُمْ. Yusuf recognized them. وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ. But they did not recognize Yusuf alayhi salam. وَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ. So why did the brothers come to Yusuf alayhi salam? And we know that this is a time of famine. Right? So he said 7 years will be of good years and 7 years will be a famine. And these 7 years have started, a famine has started. So they come all the way from Canaan. People from that far had to come to Egypt to get supplies and provision and food, right? And so they come and they see that Yusuf alayhi, he obviously grew up, and they couldn't recognize Yusuf alayhi. When you're young and you grow up, you will change a lot. But when you're already old, then you don't change much, right? So the Yusuf recognized them, and they didn't recognize Yusuf alayhi. وَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ. So they got their provisions, they have a conversation, and then he asked them, how many people you have? And says, we are 11 brothers and one father. So he packs enough provision for them. Jahazam, they packed everything. قَالَ أَتُونِي بِأَخٍ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَبِيكُمْ. He says, bring your brother next time. Next time you come, your little brother you have, bring him next time. How does he know? Because they had a conversation and they know that, okay, he has one brother. And so he said, bring him next time. أَلَا تَرَوْنَ أَنِّي أُوفِي الْكَيْلَ وَأَنَا خَيْرُ الْمُنزِلِينَ. Don't you see that I give full measure, that I am the best of those who provide, I'm the best of hosts. فَإِن لَمْ تَأْتُونِي بِهِ. If you don't bring your brother next time, فَلَا كَيْلَ لَكُمْ عِنْدِي. You will have no measure, you will have no provision from me. عندي ولا تقربون, and don't even come close to me. قالوا سنراود عنه أباه وإنا لفاعلون. So the brother said, yes, we will try and seek to win from his father. We'll try and convince his father. وإنا لفاعلون. We are indeed, we will surely do it. See the way they speak. We'll try and convince his father, not our brother, right? Our father, right? They still had that thing against Binyamin and Yusuf alayhi salam. وقال لفتيانه جعلوا بضاعتهم. And he said to his slaves, اجعلوا بضاعتهم, put their stock في رحالهم, in their baggage. لعلهم يعرفونها, so that they know. إذا انقلبوا, when they return, إلى أهلهم, to his family. لعلهم يرجعون, so that they may come. So he tells Yusuf alayhi salam tells his slaves to put whatever money they gave, whatever stocks, whatever they gave, put it back in their bags. So that when they go back, when they open their bags, they see that they have the food and their money has been returned. So that way they are motivated to come back. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ فَلَمَّا رَجَعُوا إِلَى أَبِيهِمْ. So when they returned to their father, they said, يَا أَبَانَا, O our father, مُنِعَ مِنَّا الْكَيْلِ. Goods and provision have been forbidden on us. فَارْسِلْ مَعَنَا أَخَانَا. So send our brother with us. نَقْتَلْ, so that we can get his measure. وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. And we will surely take care of him. So they are saying, in the future, O father, we have no provision unless you send the brother with us. قَالَ هَلْ آمَنُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ إِلَّا كَمَا أَمِنْتُكُمْ عَلَىٰ أَخِيهِ مِنْ قَبْلِ. Yaqub says, how can I trust you over him like the way I trusted you with his brother Yusuf alayhi before this? فَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا. Allah is the best of protectors. وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. And he is the most merciful of the merciful. وَلَمَّا فَتَحُوا مَتَاعَهُمْ. When they opened their baggages, وَجَدُوا بِضَاعَتَهُمْ رُدَّتْ إِلَيْهِمْ. And they found that their stock, their money, was returned to them. قَالُوا, they said, يَا أَبَانَا, O our father, مَا نَبْغِي, what can we say? هَذِهِ بِضَاعَتُنَا رُدَّتْ إِلَيْنَا. This is a money that has been returned to us. وَنَمِيرُ أَهْلَنَا, so that we shall get provision for our family. وَنَحْفَظُ أَخَانَا, and we can protect our brother. وَنَزْدَادُ كَيْلَ, and we will increase in one camel's load. So they're saying, they're convincing the father again, look father, look what happened. If we go again next time, we'll take our brother with us and we'll get one extra camel load for him, because the king will see that we actually have a brother and will give us the food. ذَلِكَ كَيْلٌ يَسِيرٌ. That is an easy measure. قَالَ لَنْ أُرْسِلَهُ مَعَكُمْ. So Yaqub says, I will never send him with you حَتَّى تُؤْتُونِ مَوْثِقًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ, until you take a covenant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَتَأْتُنَّنِي بِهِ, that you will bring him back. You have to promise me that you will bring him back. إِلَّا, except أَن يُحَاطَ بِكُمْ, if you were surrounded by something, that something takes over which is beyond your control, that's okay, but you have to take this promise. Throughout the story, Yaqub is foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing. He's predicting what's going to happen, right? And we'll see that he was ذو ilm, he was knowledgeable. It comes, in the next ayat. فَلَمَّا آتَوْا مَوْثِقَهُمْ. So when they gave their covenant, قَالَ اللَّهُ عَلَى مَا نَقُولُ وَكِيلٌ. Allah is a witness over what we say. قَالَ يَا بَنِيَّ لَا تَدْخُلُوا مِنْ بَابٍ وَاحِدٍ. And then the father says to Yusuf, to the sons, O my sons, لَا تَدْخُلُوا مِنْ بَابٍ وَاحِدٍ. Do not enter from one gate. وَدْخُلُوا مِنْ أَبْوَابٍ مُتَفَرِّقَةٍ. But enter from different gates. وَمَا أُغْنِي عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. And I cannot help anything. I cannot help you against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whatsoever. In al-hukmu illa lillah. Verily decree is only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alayhi tawakkal, I rely on him. Wa alayhi falyatawakkal al-mutawakkilun. And only on him should those who rely, should rely. That this is the best. Yaqub alayhi is showing the best way of putting the men. Usba, we talked about this. They were strong men. And if 11 brothers enter from one door, what's going to happen? Right away people will put an evil eye. They will not say mashallah. They see like these are brothers, their family must be lucky, and they put an evil eye. So they think enter from different doors so people don't, you don't grab people's attention. So and he says, I cannot control you over things that may befall on you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, we have to do our part, but if something still happens to you, and which will happen, right? They will get in trouble. Even though they come from different doors, they will still get in trouble. It says, alayhi tawakkal, I rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is tawakkul. You do your best, and then you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَهُمْ أَبُوهُمْ When they entered according to how his father wanted them to enter, مَا كَانَ يُغْنِي عَنْهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ Nothing helped them against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? What was supposed to happen, it didn't happen. إِلَّا حَاجَةً فِي نَفْسِ يَعْقُوبَ قَضَاهَا It was a wish in the mind of Yaqub alayhi salam which he carried out. وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ And verily he was لَذُو عِلْمٍ He was very knowledgeable. لِمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ For what we had taught him. Allah taught him, the wahi of Allah came to Yaqub alayhi salam. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ But most people do not know. Ayah number 69, Surah Yusuf. وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُفَ آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَخَاهُ And so when they entered on Yusuf alayhi salam, and they went to Yusuf alayhi salam, آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَخَاهُ So Yusuf alayhi salam took his brother to the side. قَالَ إِنِّي أَنَا أَخُوكَ He said, I am your brother, Yusuf. فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ So don't be distressed at what they used to do. Do not be scared. I am your brother that was lost many years ago. فَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ So when they prepared their provisions, جَعَلَ السِّقَايَةَ فِي رَحْلِ أَخِيهِ So what he does, he puts the drinking cup in the baggage of his brother. ثُمَّ أَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّنٌ Then an announcer made a call. أَيَّتُهَا الْعِيرُ You caravan, wait, don't leave yet. إِنَّكُمْ لَسَارِقُونَ You are thieves. So as these brothers are leaving, an announcement is made. إِنَّكُمْ لَسَارِقُونَ قَالُوا They said, وَأَقْبَلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ As they're turning to them, مَاذَا تَفْقِدُونَ What did you miss? What did you lose? قالوا نفقد صواع الملك We lost, they said we lost the king's cup. ولما جاء صواع الملك ولمن جاء به حمل بعير وأنا به زعيم And whoever produces that, whoever finds the cup of the king, he will get the reward of one load of camel. وأنا به زعيم And I guarantee that. قالوا تالله These brothers said تالله Not even wallah, not even billah. تالله We swear. This is the highest form of swear. Right? تالله لقد علمتم ما جئنا لنفسد في الأرض You know that we don't cause corruption in the land. وما كنا سارقين And we are not thieves. We're not here to make corruption. And we're not thieves. قالوا فما جزاء إن كنتم كاذبين So the people said, fine, what will be the penalty of someone who steals? If we find the cup in one of your bags, what will be the penalty? You tell us. So they said, قالوا جزاؤه The penalty should be من وجد في رحله فهو جزاؤه In whoever's bag the cup is found, he will be the recompense, meaning he will be detained. That was the law of Egypt. That anybody steals will be captured and kept in Egypt, will not be sent back. كَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الظَّالِمِينَ That is a punishment of wrongdoers. So they themselves, said what the punishment should be. Okay, fine. فَبَدَأَ بِأَوْعِيَتِهِمْ قَبْلَ وِعَاءِ أَخِيهِ So they started searching the bags قَبْلَ وِعَاءِ أَخِيهِ They started from the other brothers before they got to Binyamin, right? They go to Binyamin at the end, the final brother, right? قبل وعاء أخيه ثم استخرجها Then he kind of pretended as if he's looking, and then he kind of takes it out. Here, من وعاء أخيه From the bag of his brother. كذلك كدنا ليوسف That is how we planned for Yusuf alayhi. This was all the plan. But because Yusuf alayhi wanted to keep his brother with him, because they were harming him, they were doing all kinds of things. The same thing they did with Yusuf alayhi, they were doing with the brother, and he didn't want the brother to be thrown in the well like he was. So he wanted to keep Binyamin. كذلك كدنا ليوسف That is how we planned for Yusuf alayhi. ما كان ليأخذ أخاه في دين الملك إلا إن يشاء الله He was not able to keep his brother with him by the law of the king, except that Allah willed, right? That it was a plan of Allah that this should happen, that he will be detained. نرفع درجات من نشاء We raise in ranks whomever we want. وفوق كل ذي علم عليم And over every knowledgeable person is someone more knowledgeable. This is a universal principle that over every knowledgeable person there is someone more knowledgeable, right? In all fields. The time you feel that you're knowledgeable, you will see that someone is more knowledgeable than you in another field. So I was saying وفوق كل ذي علم عليم قالوا They said إن يسرق فقد سرق أخو لَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ. They see this coming out of the Binyamin's bag, and then they said, if he stole, then his brother also stole before him. They're accusing who? Yusuf a.s. right on his face. His brother did the same thing what he is doing. فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفَ فِي نَفْسِهِ وَلَمْ يُبْدِيهَا لَهُمْ. But Yusuf a.s. suppressed it within himself, and he did not disclose this. This is taqwa. This is guarding yourself, controlling yourself, and he was patient. And you will see the essence of the surah is taqwa and sabr. Taqwa and sabr. So he was, holding himself back. وَلَمْ يُبْدِيهَا لَهُمْ. He didn't disclose it. قَالَ أَنْتُمْ شَرٌّ مَكَانًا. He says, you are worse in position. وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا تَصِفُونَ. Allah knows what you are planning. قَالُوا. What you are describing and ascribing this to. قَالُوا. They said, يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَزِيزُ. Oh, the mighty one. Who? Yusuf a.s. Oh, the mighty one. إِنَّ لَهُ أَبًا شَيْخًا كَبِيرًا. He has a father who's old, and he's a great man. فَخُذْ أَحَدَنَا مَكَانًا. So take one of us in his place. Do not detain him. Take us instead of him. إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. We see that you are a generous person. قال معاذ الله. Yusuf a.s. says, معاذ الله, Allah forbid, أن نأخذ إلا ما وجدنا متاعنا عنده. We cannot take anybody besides the one in whom the goods were found. إنا إذا لظالمون. If we do that, there will be wrongdoers. We cannot take anybody else in his place. Then there will be wrongdoers. فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا. So when they lost hope of him, خَلَصُوا النَّجِيَّةِ. They secluded for a private conversation. The brothers got together on the side, and then they started having a conversation. قَالَ كَبِيرُهُمْ. So the biggest, the oldest one among them says, أَلَمْ تَعْلَمُوا. Don't you guys know أَنَّ أَبَاكُمْ قَدْ أَخَذَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَوْثِقًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Don't you know that our father took a covenant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, مِنْ قَبْلِ مَا فَرَّطْتُمْ فِي يُوسُف. And he did the same thing when we failed against Yusuf alayhi salam. فَلَنْ أَبْرَحَ الْأَرْضِ. He says, I am not going to leave the land حتى يأذن لي, until my father gives me permission and lets me go and forgives me, or أو يحكم الله لي, or Allah decides something for me. وهو خير الحاكمين. And he is the best of those who judge. So this is what they decide. The oldest brother is like, no, I can't do this. I'm going to stay here. ارجعوا إلى أبيكم. He tells the brothers, all of you go to your father. فقولوا. Tell him, يا أبانا, O our father, إن ابنك سرق. Your son committed theft. وما شهدنا. And we testify not إلا بما علمنا, except for what we know. وما كنا للغيب حافظين. And we don't have any control over the unseen. We don't know when he stole, and we don't have any control over that, Ya Allah, O our Father. وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. So here, the way the stories are mentioned in the Quran, they get to the point, right? They don't say, so here it says, go, all of you, go to the father and tell him. Right? And then the Quran is now going to tell, oh, they went, they took this route, and then they reached the father. Right after the next ayah is, they're with the father and just speaking to him. وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. And they already have a conversation, they already told him what happened, everything. And then the father obviously doesn't believe. So they say, وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. Ask the town where we have been, and the caravan. Ask the people. Ask the people who were in the town, and ask this caravan. We're not lying. الَّتِي قَبَلْنَا فِيهَا. Which came back with us. وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. We are indeed truthful. We are speaking the truth. Number 83, Surah Yusuf. قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. No, yourselves have seduced you into it. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. It says beautiful patience. All I can do right now is have patience and find beauty in patience. Everything is ugly. I lost my son Yusuf a.s., now Binyamin, and everything is lost. And he says, the only thing that seems beautiful is sabrun jameel, is sabr. And asa Allahu an ya'tini bihim jami'a. Perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring all of them together. Innahu huwa al-alimul hakim. Verily He is all-knowing and all-wise. He's saying He will bring all of them together. Who? He's remembering Yusuf a.s. Even though he lost Yusuf a.s. many years ago, he still has hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a very important lesson for us. We should never lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter how long that may be. How long you've been making dua. He's been making dua for more than 2-3 decades. Right? He's been making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he never lost hope. And we make dua and no time to lose hope. And then he says, maybe Allah will bring all of them together. Indeed, He's Alimun Hakim. وَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ. So he turned away from the sons. He says, قَالَ يَا أَسَفَ عَلَى يُوسُف. Oh my Yusuf. He's thinking about Yusuf. Who did he lose just now? He lost Binyamin, and he's thinking about Yusuf. What we see here is that when you are hit with a calamity, with distress, it reminds you of other distress, right? It reminds you of other grievances you may have in the past. So, oh Yusuf, وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ, and his eyes turned white, مِنَ الْحُزْنِ, out of grief, فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ, and while he was suppressing it. Out of thinking about Yusuf ﷺ, his eyes turned white, he couldn't see. قَالُوا تَاللَّهِ, they said, we swear to God, تَفْتَوْ تَذْكُرُ Yusuf, that you will not stop remembering Yusuf ﷺ, حَتَّى تَكُونَ until you are sick to the point of death, أو تكون من الهالكين, or you be among those who are dead. Stop already. Isn't it time for you to get over with Yusuf? Why are you still thinking about Yusuf alayhi salam? Get over with. It's enough. قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. Yaqub alayhi salam says, I complain only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I convey my distress and grief only to Allah. Is it okay to complain to Allah? Yes. That is a sunnah, that you complain to Allah, but you never complain about Allah. You never complain about Allah. Why is Allah doing this? No. All your complaints should go to Allah. Who do you complain to? Ya Allah, I need you. You complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not complain about Him. So he says, Ashku bathi wa huzni ila Allah. I convert to Him. Wa a'lamu min Allahi ma la ta'lamun. And I know from Allah what you do not know. Ya bani, O my sons, idhabu fatahassasu min Yusuf. Go and search for Yusuf and his brother, min Yusuf wa akhihi, wa la tayasu min rawhillah. Do not give up hope in Allah's mercy. Who seems to have lost hope in Allah's mercy almost? Yaqub alayhi salam. He has been making dua and he has hope and he feels like he's almost losing it. But then, what is the cure? When you feel like that, you convey this to others. When you are sad, you tell others, don't be sad. Allah, have hope in Allah. That is a psychology. When you feel sad and down, advise others. Give a khutbah, give a da'wah, give a speech to others saying why they should not be sad. Right? That is a cure for you. It says, oh my sons, don't lose it. فَتَحَسَّسُ مِنْ يُوسُفَ وَلَا تَيَأْسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ. Do not give hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. No one despairs and loses hope in Allah except the disbelieving nation. فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ. So when they entered on him, قَالُوا يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَزِيزُ. So they went to Yusuf again to Egypt. يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَزِيزُ. O the honorable one, مَسَّنَا وَأَهْلَنَا الضُّرُّ. Evil, something has touched us. Harm has touched us. وَجِئْنَا بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ. And we have a little bit of money, we don't have that much. بِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلِ. So give us full measure, وَتَصَدَّقَ عَلَيْنَا. And be good to us, give us some charity. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَجْزِي الْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ. Verily Allah loves those who are charitable. So they didn't have enough money. They're asking Yusuf as-salam to give him full measure. قَالَ هَلْ عَلِمْتُمْ مَا فَعَلْتُمْ بِيُوسُفَ وَأَخِيهِ إِذْ أَنْتُمْ جَاهِلُونَ. So the Aziz says, do you know what you did with Yusuf and his brother when you were ignorant? So the king is speaking to their brothers, and they're like, قَالُوا. They look closely at this king, and they're like, أَإِنَّكَ لَأَنْتَ يُوسُف. Are you Yusuf? قال أنا يوسف. Yes, I am Yusuf. وهذا أخي. And this is my brother. قد من الله علينا. Verily Allah has favored us. إنه. This is the theme and the main lesson of the entire surah. إنه من يتقي ويصبر. Whoever fears Allah, has taqwa of Allah, and is patient, فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين. Allah does not waste the reward of the righteous people. That is a lesson here. That patience and taqwa. A believer balances himself between these two things, right? Patience and taqwa. Ajr al-muhsinin. Allah never wastes the reward of the righteous people. قالوا. They said to Allah, we swear by Allah, لَقَدْ آثَرَكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. Allah has favored you over us. وَإِن كُنَّا لَخَاطِئِينَ. Verily we were sinners before this. قَالَ لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْيَوْمِ. This is a chance for Yusuf as-salam to take the revenge. That he can punish them and do whatever he wants. He has full power. But what does he say? لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْيَوْمِ. You have no blame upon you today. يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. May Allah forgive you. وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. He is the most merciful of the merciful ones. And this is exactly the same statement that Prophet ﷺ made when he came to Makkah. When he came to Makkah after 21 years of persecution, and they came around the Kaaba, and then what did they say? They asked Prophet ﷺ, Actually Prophet asked him, what do you think I'll do to you today? And they said, you are noble, son of a noble person. And so they said, so the Prophet says, today I will say what Yusuf said to his brothers, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم. There's no blame upon you, go, I have forgiven you. Right? This is what a muhsin looks like. A muhsin, this is the reward of a muhsin. Allah says, لا يضيع أجر المحسنين. This is the characteristic of a muhsin, that he forgives even though they have done so much wrong. They have hurt his father and the father has lost his eyes and so much has happened. He says, I forgive you. اذهبوا بقميصي. You all go with this shirt of mine. فَالْقُوهُ عَلَى وَجْهِ أَبِي. Throw this on the face of my father. يَأْتِ بَصِيرًا. His eyes will come back. وَأْتُونِي بِأَهْلِكُمْ. And bring وَأْتُونِي بِأَهْلِكُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Bring your family all together to Egypt. That is the migration from Canaan to Egypt. And what is the thing about throwing shirt on the face? Maybe it's perhaps a smell, right? That when you think about someone, when the grief is because of someone, and when they appear, that grief goes away and that cure happens, right? So perhaps the shirt, putting the shirt on the face will remind him, the smell will remind him of Yusuf salam, and out of happiness the sight will come back. And it is only in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَمَّا فَصَلَتِ الْعِيرُ. When the caravan went away, قَالَ أَبُوهُمْ. And the father said, إِنِّي لَأَجِدُ رِيحَ يُوسُف. So when the caravan just left from Egypt and is coming towards Canaan, and Yaqub is saying what? إِنِّي لَأَجِدُ رِيحَ يُوسُف. I smell Yusuf alayhi salam. I get the smell of Yusuf alayhi salam. لَوْلَا أَنْتُمْ تُفَنِّدُونَ. If you do prove me wrong. And then قالوا تالله. The people who were with Yaqub alayhi salam in Canaan, they say, by Allah, إِنَّكَ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ الْقَدِيمِ. That you are in clear error. You're in the error of the former time, just like you're lost, like always. فَلَمَّا أَنْ جَاءَ الْبَشِيرُ. When the bearer of good news came, أَلْقَاهُ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ. That he threw it on his face. فَارْتَدَّ بَصِيرًا. His eyesight came back. قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكُمْ. He said, did I tell you that إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That I know from Allah what you do not know. قَالُوا يَا أَبَانَا. O our father, استغفر لنا ذنوبنا. We ask forgiveness for our sins. إِنَّا كُنَّا خَاطِئِينَ. We are truly sinners. Ayah number 98, Surah Yusuf. قَالَ سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي. I shall seek forgiveness from my master. He doesn't seek forgiveness right away. He says, I will. Because it's hard for the father to get over this. Right? It's very difficult because he lost his son and there's so much. He says, I will seek forgiveness for you. إِنَّهُ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Verily he is most forgiving and most merciful. فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُف. So that when they went to Yusuf ﷺ and they came upon him, آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَبَوَيْهِ. So he lodged with him and his parents. He gave both of them shelter. وَقَالَ. And he says, أُدْخُلُوا مِصْرَ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ آمِنِينَ. Enter Egypt, inshaAllahu, آمِنِينَ, safe and secure. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. And so he raised his parents on the throne. وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. Both his parents fell in sujood. وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. And this is sujood out of respect, not for worship. قَالَ يَا أَبَتِي. O my father, هَذَا تَأْوِيلُ رُؤْيَايَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. This is the interpretation of my dream from before. قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا. My Lord has made it happen, has made it come true. So what happens? All the 11 brothers and the father and mother, they do sujood to him as soon as they enter Egypt. And this was the dream that he saw. 11 stars, one sun, a sun and the moon prostrated to him. It says, O my father, this is the interpretation of my dream which I saw before Allah has made it happen. وَقَدْ أَحْسَنَ بِي. And the story began, him having a dream. The entire story was the fulfillment of that dream. And the whole life is like the completion of, this is the qadr of Allah. That Allah has a plan for you. Allah has told you, you are going to be someone great. That's how the story began. You will be great. You are going to be someone who is going to save thousands and thousands of people from famine, from being killed. And for you to reach there, you had to go through these things in your life. That if you had to be thrown, your brothers had to be jealous, so you would be thrown in the well. If you did not go in the well, you would not have been picked up by the caravan. If you were not picked up with the caravan, you would never have ended up in in Egypt in Aziz's house, and if you were not in that house, you would never have been seduced, you would never have been gone to the prison. If you did not go to the prison, you would have never met the two people, and one of them was going to be a close member of the king. And then if that didn't happen, then you would never have become the finance minister. If you didn't become the finance minister, then thousands and thousands of people would have died from famine. That's what we wanted you to be. We wanted you to be a great person for a nation that believes that these stories are not just for entertainment, but there is guidance and mercy for us in it. And that brings us to the end of Surah Yusuf. Move on to Surah Ar-Ra'd. Surah Ar-Ra'd is a Madani surah, but there are some ayat that are Makki, so some have disagreement, but most say that it is Madani surah. So we began Alif Lam Mim Ra. These are Huruf al-Muqatta'at, and no one knows the meaning of these, but we talked about this at any time Huruf al-Muqatta'at are mentioned, the book is mentioned. So Allah says, Tilka ayatul kitab. These are the signs of the book. Walladhi unzila ilayka min rabbik. And that which has been sent down to you from your master. Al-haq, with truth, with purpose. This book has been sent down with some purpose. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. But most people do not believe. Allahu alladhi rafa'a as-samawati bighayri 'amadin tarawnaha. Allah is the one who raised the heavens. Without any pillars that you can see. ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Then he took his position on top of the throne. وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ. And he subdued the sun and the moon. He made sun and the moon in service for you. كُلُّ يَجْرِي لِأَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. Every single thing is running for a set time, for a specified time, until the day of judgment. يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرِ. Allah directs the affairs and controls it. يُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ. He clarifies the ayat. لَعَلَّكُمْ بِلِقَاءِ رَبِّكُمْ تُوقِنُونَ. So that you have full yaqeen in the meeting of your master. That all of the signs around us is calling towards the tawheed of Allah, calling towards the oneness of Allah, that there must be some programmer, there should be someone who is maintaining, that everything needs a doer, every action needs someone to do it, right? But who is raising the sky and who is moving the sun and the moon? It is in fact Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his meeting. Ayah number 3, Surah Ra'd. وَهُوَ الَّذِي مَدَّ الْأَرْضِ. And he is the one who extends the earth. وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَأَنْهَارًا. And he has put firm mountains and rivers in it. وَمِنْ كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ جَعَلَ فِيهَا زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ. And of every fruit he made them in pairs, in twos. يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارِ. He makes the night cover the day. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Verily, there are many miraculous signs for a nation that reflects. وَفِي الْأَرْضِ قِطَعٌ مُتَجَاوِرَاتٍ. And in earth, you have these tracts right next to each other, these different regions right next to each other. That one earth, the soil in one side is not the same as another side. That the soil in one place is made with certain powers and capabilities. And other regions are made for different things, and every earth is mutajabirat, very similar, but it's still different. وَجَنَّاتٍ بِالْأَعْنَابِ. And he made gardens of grapes, وَزَرْعٍ and crop fields, وَنَخْلٍ and date palms, صِنْوَانٍ وَغَيْرُ صِنْوَانٍ. That some have a single branch and others don't have. Some others have multiple or not at all. غَيْرُ صِنْوَانٍ يُسْقَى بِمَاءٍ وَاحِدٍ. They have one water, same water, giving rise to different kinds of vegetation. وَنُفَضِّلُ بَعْضَهَا عَلَى بَعْضٍ فِي الْأُكُلِ. And we make some of them have more fruits than others. That same water, yet the branches look different, and the fruits they give, some give more, some give less. Everything is planned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? You cannot justify, how come I same soil, same water, but this one gives fruit, that one doesn't give fruit. How come? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. Verily there are many ayat for a nation that understands. Ayah number 5, Surah Ra'd. وَإِن تَعْجَبْ. If you're amazed at their disbelief, that they're still disbelieving, in ta'jab, فَعَجَبٌ قَوْلُهُم. But their saying is even more strange. What is that saying? أَإِذَا كُنَّا تُرَابًا أَإِذَا لَفِي خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. Is it that when we turn to dust, we'll be brought back as a new creation? This is even more strange than their disbelief. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ. Those are the people who have denied their master. وَأُولَٰئِكَ الْأَغْلَالُ فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ. And they will have these feathers in their necks, these collars, that you see for their prison mates. That you will have في أعناقهم أولئك أصحاب النار. Those are the people of hellfire. هم فيها خالدون. They will remain in it forever and ever. ويستعجلونك بالسيئة قبل الحسنة. And they ask you to hurry the day of judgment, the punishment, before the coming of the good. وقد خلت من قبلهم المثلات. When look before them, many punishments, exemplary punishments came before to the people before them. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَذُو مَغْفِرَةٍ لِلنَّاسِ عَلَى ظُلْمِهِمْ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, full of forgiveness for humankind, despite their wrongdoings. That fact that Allah is not bringing the day of judgment or bringing punishment on you shows that Allah is most forgiving. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَشَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. But also know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is severe in punishment. That He is giving you time, but don't misuse this time that He has given. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ. Those people who disbelieve, they say, why hasn't a ayah come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرٌ. Tell them that you are only a warner. وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. And every nation had a guide. That they are asking for signs which they want to see. Allah saying, many signs have already come, you don't want to accept. Tell them, I'm only here to warn. Get ready for it. وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. And every nation had a guide. Allah يَعْلَمُ مَا تَحْمِلُ كُلُّ أُنثَى. Allah is the one who knows what the female carries in her womb. وَمَا تَغِيدُ الْأَرْحَامِ. And what the womb shrinks. And وَمَا تَزْدَادُ. And what it exceeds. That Allah knows how the baby is formed in the womb. And Allah knows what the womb shrinks, meaning the potentials are decreased. Like whatever potential Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, He can decrease from that child or increase. That's that. Or also that baby can be born before time or after that set period. Right? So Allah says He knows all of it. وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ عِنْدَهُ بِمِقْدَارٍ. Everything is measured in His sight. عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ. He is the knower of the unseen and the seen. Al-Kabir, of the all-great. Al-Muta'al, the exalted. سَوَاءٌ مِنْكُمْ مَنْ أَسَرَّ الْقَوْلَ وَمَنْ جَهَرَ بِهِ. It is the same thing whether you hide it or you make it open. Allah knows all of it. وَمَنْ هُوَ مُسْتَخْفٍ بِاللَّيْلِ وَسَارِبٌ بِالنَّهَارِ. And He knows whoever hides in the night and whoever acts in the day. لَهُ مُعَقِّبَاتٌ مِنْ بَيْنِ يَدَيْهِ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِ يَحْفَظُونَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. That Allah says that every single one of us have mu'aqibat, these angels appointed on us. مِنْ بَيْنِ يَدَيْهِ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِ. In front of us and behind us. يَحْفَظُونَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. These angels are protecting us by the command of Allah. Every single one of us have angels, front and back. And these are mu'aqibat, are also the angels in rotation. That morning, Fajr time, you have 2 angels who come and then they stay till Asr time, and then at Asr time they leave and another set of angels come and they stay till Fajr. So Fajr, Asr, Fajr to Asr, they switch. That's why Fajr and Asr are important. Right? That you should not delay Asr and Fajr. Right? These are important salawat because the angels, when they go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they say, Ya Allah, when we went, we saw this person praying, and when we left, he was praying. And the other angels say the same thing. When we went, he was praying. When we left, he was praying. So your both at the two ends are like really good deeds. وَهُمْ مِنْ خَلْفِ يَحْفَظُونَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. And they are protecting with the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. That verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change the state of any nation until they change themselves. This ayah is very important for us to understand. A lot of us say Muslim Ummah. Look at those people in that country. They talk about politics and they say, Muslim Ummah is so messed up and they blame the people. Allah is saying, if you want the community to change, if you want the nation to change, that will not happen unless you change yourself. Right? And this is also, parents, I talked about this before, that you want the kids to change. Allah says you have to change yourself before you see any change in the society. وَإِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ سُوءًا فَلَا مَرَدَّ لَهُ. If Allah intends to harm a nation, to cause some harm to a nation, فَلَا مَرَدَّ لَهُ. No one can stop it. And what are the signs of a nation that's declining? The sign is that they increase in their sins. Once a nation increases in its sins, that is a sign that it is it's on the downfall. Allah is saying, if Allah wants to make cause some harm to a nation, there is nobody who can stop it. وَمَا لَهُم مِّن دُونِهِ مِن وَالٍ. They will not have besides him any guardian. هُوَ الَّذِي يُرِيكُمُ الْبَرْقَ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا. And Allah is the one who shows you the lightning as fear and hope. خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا وَيُنْشِئُ السَّحَابَ الثِّقَالَ. And He produces the clouds weighing heavy. يُسَبِّحُ الرَّعْدِ. And the thunder praises Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The thunder glorifies Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, the thunder is a proof of the tawheed of Allah, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah raises the clouds, He moves them wherever He wants, and then lightning and flashing comes, and then He sends down rain upon the people. Who is doing that? And the thunder is a sign of Allah's oneness. That is Allah, in fact, who does all of it. So when you see thunder, it is also the angels doing the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ مِنْ خِيفَتِهِ. And the angels also praise Him out of His fear. وَيُرْسِلُ الصَّوَاعِقَ. And He sends down the thunderbolts. فَيُصِيبُ بِهَا مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Which hits whomever He wants. وَهُمْ يُجَادِلُونَ فِي اللَّهِ. But they still are arguing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ شَدِيدُ الْمِحَالِ. And He is the one who is severe and strong in might. And number 14, Surah Ra'd. لَهُ دَعْوَةُ الْحَقِّ. To Him belongs the prayer of truth, that He deserves to be worshipped. لَهُ دَعْوَةُ الْحَقِّ. وَالَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ. And those people whom they call besides Him, لَا يَسْتَجِيبُونَ لَهُم بِشَيْءٍ. They cannot respond to Him in any matter. If you call upon anything besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will not respond to you. إِلَّا كَبَاسِطِ كَفَّيْهِ إِلَى الْمَاءِ لِيَبْلُغَ فَاهُ وَمَا هُوَ بِبَالِغِهِ. And Allah says, the example of the one who calls upon someone besides Allah is like someone who is trying to capture water with his palm outstretched. Imagine you have your palm open like this, and rain comes, and you're trying to drink from that. Is it possible to drink and get any water from it? No. You have to make a scoop, and then you can drink from that. So Allah is saying, the one who asks someone besides Allah is like asking Allah open hand, and is not going to benefit him. That even though he tries to reach it, his mouth is reaching it, but he cannot benefit from it. وَمَا دُعَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ. The dua of a disbeliever is only in error, is only wasted. وَلِلَّهِ. And to Allah alone, يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Whoever is in the heavens and the earth do sujood to Him, طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا. Willingly or unwillingly. وَظِلَالُهُمْ بِالْغُدُوِّ. And their shadows also do sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ. Morning and evening. So what? You don't want to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but your shadows are on the ground. That they are submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you want or not, morning and evening. See, ayah of sajda, so you quick sajda inshallah. قُلْ مَنْ رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. قُلِ اللَّهُ. Say, who is the master of the heavens and the earth? Say, it is in fact Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ أَفَاتَّخَذْتُم مِّن دُونِهِ أَوْلِيَاءَ. Then tell them that are you taking protectors besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? لَا يَمْلِكُونَ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا. Who can't even benefit or harm themselves. قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الْأَعْمَى وَالْبَصِيرُ. Tell them, can a blind person and the one who sees, can they both be equal? أَمْ هَلْ تَسْتَوِي الظُّلُمَاتُ وَالنُّورُ. Can darknesses and light be equal? أَمْ جَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ خَلَقُوا كَخَلْقِهِ. Are they then making partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are created, خَلَقُوا, they create like His creation. So they are worshipping these idols whom they make it like Allah's creation. خَلَقُوا كَخَلْقِهِ فَتَشَابَهَ الْخَلْقُ عَلَيْهِمْ. So that it looks similar to Allah's creation. قُلِ اللَّهُ. Say, Allah is the خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, the creator of every single thing. وَهُوَ الْوَاحِدُ الْقَهَّارُ. He is the one and the Almighty. Ayah number 17. أنزل من السماء ماء فسالت. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after comparing truth and falsehood, right, the one who sees and the one who cannot see, after showing the comparison, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compares two other things, right, truth and falsehood. He gives two examples. أنزل من السماء ماء. He sent down water from the sky. فسالت أودية بقدرها. It floods the valleys بقدرها, according to his capacity. فاحتمل السيل زبد الرابية. Then the flood carries some froth, zabad al-rabia, that swells up, some froth, right? Imagine the water, when rain comes down and floods the valleys, what is on top of the water? You have this froth, this white thing on top, right? Zabad al-rabia. And then another example Allah subhanahu gives, وَمِمَّا يُوقِدُونَ عَلَيْهِ فِي النَّارِ. And out of what they kindle, فِي النَّارِ, of the fire, ابْتِغَاءَ حِلْيَةٍ, seeking for ornaments, or mata'in, or some things of use, zabadun mithlu, it also has some froth. So Allah is saying, when you also try to purify gold and purify metal, what happens is also some froth, some waste that's created, the froth of metal. So here there are two things there are two comparisons, right? So water and the froth, right? Water and froth. So truth and falsehood is like water and froth, right? Water, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ وَالْبَاطِلِ. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala distinguishes truth and falsehood. فَأَمَّا الزَّبَدْ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً. As for the froth, it just goes away. It just, it's just wasted. وَأَمَّا مَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ. As for what benefits people, فَيَمْكُثُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. It remains in the earth and benefits. كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالِ. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives examples. So what is his example? So the first example is saying water comes down from the sky and floods the valleys, right? And this ayah is the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The first example is when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in Mecca. When he was in Mecca, what happened? Valley, water came down, which is Quran, came down, and it flooded the valleys. The Quran went to every single corner, right? And what happened? Two groups were created. One was truth, people of truth, and people of falsehood. People of truth is the water, and people of falsehood is the froth. As for the water, it goes in the earth and benefits, and gives rise to different crops and vegetation and fruits and plants, okay, which benefits people. And the froth, what happens? It's just wasted and they're destroyed. They are removed. So just like in Badr, the truth were the Muslims, and they benefited the people, and the froth was just destroyed in Badr, for example. And then you have the second example. The second example is showing the life of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina. In Medina, who do you have? You don't have the mushrikeen of Makkah, but you have the hypocrites. And so if you are purifying gold, what happens is it has to go through intense processing. It's not as easy. Water, froth from water is easily, separated. But the froth of metal is very difficult. It has to go through intense processing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Him to separate the believers from the disbelievers, He had to put them in different tests. Like Badr, Uhud, Tabuk, and all these different tests to separate لِيَمِيزَ اللَّهُ الْخَبِيثَ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِ. So that He can separate the truth from falsehood. And that is the example of metal, pure metal, and whatever waste is being created. The metal, people use it, the waste is removed. That's the example Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives here to show that truth benefits and whatever is wasted is gone, is destroyed. Punishment comes and takes it away. كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالِ. And that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives examples. لِلَّذِينَ اسْتَجَابُوا لِرَبِّهِمُ الْحُسْنَى. As for those people who respond to his master, who respond to the call that the Prophet ﷺ came with, al-husna, will have the best reward, will have Jannah and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالَّذِينَ لَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَهُ. And those people who don't respond to him, لو أن لهم ما في الأرض جميعا ومثله معه لافتدوا به. And they would, if those people who don't respond, even if they were to give an earth full of gold, an earth full of things as a ransom to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect themselves from hellfire, they will not be protected. أولئك لهم سوء الحساب. They will have an evil reckoning. ومأواهم جهنم. And their abode will be hellfire. وبئس المهاد. And what an evil place of resting that is. أفمن يعلم أنما أنزل إليك من ربك الحق كمن هو أعمى. Is the one who knows what has been sent down from from your master as truth, can he be equal to the one who is blind? إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. It is only a reminder for ulul albab. I mentioned this people of intellect. Who are they? 9 qualities mentioned here. Number 1, الَّذِينَ يُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ. They are those people who fulfill the covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is, that they will obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a covenant we took from Allah, an oath that will fulfill the obligations. الَّذِينَ يُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ. Number 2, وَلَا يَنْقُضُونَ الْمِيثَاقَ. And they don't violate any pact, any treaty they make, they don't violate that. Number 3, وَالَّذِينَ يَصِلُونَ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَن يُوصَلَ. And those people who keep the link, who connect the relationship and do not cut it off, أَن يُوصَلَ. They keep it together. Number 4, وَيَخْشَوْنَ رَبَّهُمْ. They fear their master. Number 5, وَيَخَافُونَ سُوءَ الْحِسَابِ. And they fear the calamity of the judgment. Number 6, quality number 6, وَالَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِمْ. And there are those who are patient, صَبَرُوا ابْتِغَاءَ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِمْ. They're patient, acquiring, desiring for Allah's countenance, salah, and they spend from what Allah has provided them, for secretly and openly. And number 9, وَيَدْرَؤُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ. And they repel evil with good. We talked about this before in Surah Hud, that they repel evil deeds with good deeds. They follow up an evil deed with a good deed. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عُقْبَى الدَّارِ. They will have the ultimate abode of Jannah. جَنَّاتُ عَدْنٍ. Gardens of eternity. يَدْخُلُونَهَا. They will enter in it. وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ. They will enter, and whoever of them who was good from their fathers, وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ, from their spouses, وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ, and from their children. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ يَدْخُلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ بَابٍ. And the angels will call on them from every single gate. The angels will call on them. What will they say? Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. This would be the statement. This would be the conversation of the angels. Say Salamun alaykum. Why? Bima sabartum. Right? The same theme from the previous surah, Sabr. Right? Sabru bitigaa wajhi rabbihim. Talked about this. And also sabrun jameel. Those people who are patient in obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, and those people who are patient in not falling into sin, those people will have Jannah. And the angels will say, Salamun alaykum, peace be on you, because of your patience. فَنِعْمَ عُقْبَ الدَّارِ. How excellent is that resting place. وَالَّذِينَ. And then here 3 qualities of people of hell are mentioned. وَالَّذِينَ يَنْقُضُونَ عَهْدَ اللَّهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مِيثَاقِهِ. And as for those people who violate the covenant they have made after it was fortified. وَيَقْطَعُونَ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَن يُوصَلَ. And they cut the relationships. Right? They cut the relationship. They cut the things that Allah has commanded to be put together. I explained this in detail in Surah Baqarah, which is body and soul need to be put together. Dunya and hereafter should be balanced, right? Individual concern versus community concern should be balanced. But these people separate that. The focus is body. The focus is dunya. The focus is individual concern. When that is the case, then you're cutting what is supposed to be put together. And those people, وَيُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And as a result, they cause corruption in the land. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ اللَّعْنَةُ. They will have the curse. وَلَهُمْ سُوءُ الدَّارِ. They will have an evil home. اللَّهُ يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ. Allah is the one who stretches out. He opens out His rizq, His provision, لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ, to whomever He wants, وَيَقْدِرُ, and He holds it back from whoever He wants. وَفَرِحُوا بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. And they are really happy and overjoyed with this worldly life. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا مَتَاعٌ. And this dunya in relation to the hereafter is only a mata', is a enjoyment, a very, very temporary enjoyment. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Those people who disbelieve say, لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. Why hasn't a sign from Allah has come? قُلْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُضِلُّ مَن يَشَاءُ. Say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whoever He wants, He misguides. وَيَهْدِي إِلَيْهِ مَنْ أَنَابَ. And He guides whomever He wants, those who turn, وَيَهْدِي إِلَيْهِ مَنْ أَنَابَ. And He guides those people who turn in repentance to Him. That ayat have already come to you, and you are not seeing those ayat because of your own ignorance and your own arrogance. So Allah is misleading you because of that. And وَيَهْدِي إِلَيْهِ مَنْ أَنَابَ. Those people who turn in repentance to Him, Allah guides them. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. As for those people who believe, وَتَطْمَئِنُّ قُلُوبُهُمْ بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. And their hearts are itminan or content with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Verily, it is only in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that hearts find rest. These hearts are made for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing can fulfill it. You know, this heart needs love. When this heart is not filled with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will fill itself with love of dunya. It will fill itself with the love of a girlfriend or boyfriend. It will fill itself with the love of, money and other things. So Allah is saying it's only true peace and comfort for the heart only comes through the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. As for those people who believe and do righteous deeds, طُوبَى لَهُمْ. They will have tuba. What is tuba? Tuba is happiness. They will have happiness in this dunya. And also, tuba is also a shade in Jannah. It's a tree in Jannah whose shade is going to be so long that even if you were to ride on a horse for 100 years, you cannot cover the shade of that tree. So Allah says those people who do righteous deeds and have iman, they will have tuba wa husnu ma'ab, and they will have a good place of return. Ayah number 30, Surah Ra'd, كَذَلِكَ أَرْسَلْنَاكَ فِي أُمَّةٍ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهَا أُمَمٍ. And that is how we sent you in the midst of your community. قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهَا أُمَمٍ. And many communities have passed before it. لِتَتْلُوَ عَلَيْهِمُ الَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ. We sent you so that you may recite unto them the revelation we have sent to you. وَهُمْ يَكْفُرُونَ بِالرَّحْمَنِ. And they still disbelieve in the most merciful. قُلْ هُوَ رَبِّي. Say, He is my master. لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ. There is no one worthy of worship except Him. عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَإِلَيْهِ مَتَابِ. That I rely on Him alone. وَإِلَيْهِ مَتَابِ. And to Him I turn in repentance to. وَلَوْ أَنَّ قُرْآنًا. And Allah says, if the Qur'an were to do the following things, سُيِّرَتْ بِهِ الْجِبَالِ, were to crush the mountains, أَوْ قُطِّعَتْ بِهِ الْأَرْضِ, or if we were to split the earth, like if the Quran were to bring the ayah and split the earth, قُطِّعَتْ بِهِ الْأَرْضِ, and bring water, right? Like they demanded, قُطِّعَتْ بِهِ الْأَرْضِ أَوْ كُلِّمَ بِهِ الْمَوْتَى. And if the dead were to come out and speak to them, they will not believe. The answer to the condition is not mentioned, but the answer is they will not. They ask the Prophet ﷺ to make the mountain, sail. Right? They may ask Allah, the Prophet to make the mountain sail and make it into dust particles, and make water come out of this desert, and make the dead come to life. So Allah is saying, if we were to make the mountain into dust particles, and if we were to make the earth open and bring water out of the desert, and if the dead were to speak to them, they will not believe. بَلِ اللَّهِ الْأَمْرُ جَمِيعًا. But to Allah belongs the command entirely. أَفَلَمْ يَيْأَسِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Those people who believe, don't they know أَلَّوْ يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ لَهَدَى النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. That Allah will guide whomever He wants from the mankind. وَلَا يَزَالُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا تُصِيبُهُم بِمَا صَنَعُوا قَارِعَةٌ. Goes to their house. حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ وَعْدُ اللَّهِ. Until death comes to them. That the punishment that Allah is saying, that for those people who disbelieve, they still continue to do what they're doing, and they don't fear that punishment will come to them or to a nearby land before they are dead. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُخْلِفُ الْمِيعَادِ. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not break His promise. وَلَقَدْ اسْتُهْزِئَ بِرُسُلٍ مِّن قَبْلِكَ. Verily, messengers were ridiculed and mocked at before you. فَأَمْلَيْتُ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. So I gave some time to those who disbelieve. ثُمَّ أَخَذْتُهُمْ. Then I seized them and destroyed them. فَكَيْفَ كَانَ عِقَابِ. And see how was my punishment. أَفَمَنْ هُوَ قَائِمٌ عَلَى كُلِّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ. Is the one who watches over you and takes care of you for what you do. Can he be like the false gods who can't do anything? The answer to that condition is also not mentioned. So here, أَفَمَنْ هُوَ قَائِمٌ عَلَى كُلِّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ, is the one who stands and watches you and takes care of your affairs. Can he be like the false god who do nothing? وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ. But they still make partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ سَمُّوهُمْ. Tell them, can you name those partners? أَمْ تُنَبِّئُونَهُ. Or are you just telling something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? بِمَا لَا يَعْلَمُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. That which He does not know in the earth. أَمْ بِظَاهِرٍ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ. Or are you just saying words that you don't actually believe in? بَلْ زُيِّنَ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مَكْرُهُمْ. But the evil deed, the evil plot and their opposition against Islam and the disbelief, was beautified to those people who don't have iman. وَصَدُّوا عَنِ السَّبِيلِ, and they prevent the people from accepting the straight path. وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ هَادٍ. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguides, there is no guide for him. لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. They will have a punishment in this worldly life. وَلَعَذَابُ الْآخِرَةِ أَشَقُّ. But the punishment of the hereafter is going to be much more intense and more severe. وَمَا لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ وَاقٍ. And they will not have any protector against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مَثَلُ الْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي وُعِدَ الْمُتَّقُونَ. The example of the garden is that He has promised for the righteous is like تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. That this garden will be, that there will be rivers flowing under this garden. أُكُلُهَا دَائِمٌ. Is going to give fruits all the time. وَظِلُّهَا. And is going to have, there will be shade for them all the time. تِلْكَ عُقْبَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا. That is a reward for those who had taqwa. وَعُقْبَ الْكَافِرِينَ النَّارِ. And the reward for the disbelievers is going to be fire. These people who they had taqwa, meaning they protected themselves from the punishment of Allah, from the anger of Allah. That is a reward for those people who had taqwa. وَالَّذِينَ آتِينَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ. And those people whom we have given the book, يَفْرَحُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. They are extremely happy with what has been sent down to you. وَمِنَ الْأَحْزَابِ مَنْ يُنْكِرُ بَعْضًا. And among them are some who pretend not to know it. So some people are extremely happy with the Quran, and some people, they are hypocrites, they pretend not to know it. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أُمِرْ. Sorry, they are disbelievers who pretend not to know it because they know this is the truth, but they just want to keep up their status. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ اللَّهِ. Say that I have been commanded to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَا أُشْرِكَ بِهِ, and not associate anybody with Him. إِلَيْهِ أَدْعُو وَإِلَيْهِ مَآبِ. To Him I call, and to Him I turn. وَكَذَلِكَ أَنزَلْنَاهُ حُكْمًا عَرَبِيًّا. And that is how we sent it down. We sent the law in Arabiya, حُكْمًا عَرَبِيًّا. And we talked about the Arabic language, how this law and the understanding of it only comes through the Arabic language. وَلَئِنِ اتَّبَعْتَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ. If you were to follow their desires and follow what they want you to follow, بَعْدَ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. After the truth has come to you, after the knowledge has come to you, مَا لَكَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ وَلِيٍّ وَلَا وَاقٍ. You will not have any guardian, any protector against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ayah number 38, Surah Ra'ad. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلًا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Verily we sent messengers before you. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَذُرِّيَّةً. And we made from them spouses and offspring. وَمَا كَانَ لِرَسُولٍ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ بِآيَةٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. That it is not in the capacity of a messenger to bring miracles except with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That messengers before you were human beings, they had wives and kids, and you are like that. You don't have the power to bring any miracles. لِكُلِّ أَجْلٍ كِتَابٍ. For every single thing, for every single matter, there is an appointed time. That they are arguing with you, but know that this will come to an end. يَمْحُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيُثْبِتُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes whatever He wants from His book. وَيُثْبِتُ. And He keeps whatever He wants. Like the nasq in the Quran, the abrogation, that He removes whatever He wants and He keeps whatever He wants. وَعِنْدَهُ الْكِتَابِ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the mother of the book, which is Lawh al-Mahfuz. That Allah has the Lawh al-Mahfuz, which has the real kitab. وَإِمَّا نُرِيَنَّكَ بَعْضَ الَّذِي نَعِدُهُمْ. If we show you, Ya Rasulullah, some of the things that we have promised them, some of the punishment that we give them in this dunya, أَوْ نَتَوَفَّيَنَّكَ. Or we make you die before we show them the punishment. فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغُ. It doesn't matter. On you is only balagh. For you, your job is only to communicate to them. وَعَلَيْنَا الْحِسَابِ. And on us is their account. أَوْلَمْ يَرَوْا. Don't they see أَنَّا نَأْتِي الْأَرْضَ نَنْقُصُهَا مِنْ أَطْرَافِهَا. Don't the disbelievers see that we diminish the earth, we reduce the earth from its side, from its extremities, from its sides? What does that mean? That the land of kufr is taken by the land of iman. That iman is spreading and kufr is diminishing. That the people of iman are increasing and people of kufr are decreasing. Don't they see that? And the other understanding of this is that the land is the sea levels are rising and the land is getting smaller and smaller. وَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ لَا مُعَقِّبَ لِحُكْمِهِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He decrees and none can amend or change His decree. وَهُوَ سَرِيُّ الْحِسَابِ. And He is quick in taking punishment. وَقَدْ مَكَرَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. So people before them also plotted فَلِلَّهِ الْمَكْرُ جَمِيعًا. But Allah's plan, but Allah's is the plan. The best plan is Allah's plan. يَعْلَمُ مَا تَكْسِبُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what every single soul is acquiring and doing. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الْكُفَّارِ. Soon the disbelievers will know لِمَنْ عُقُبَ الدَّارِ. To whom belongs the ultimate abode, to whom belongs Jannat al-Firdaus. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Those people, الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, those people who disbelieve, they say, لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا. They say that you are not a messenger. What's the response? Say to them, كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Allah is sufficient for me as a witness. So powerful, that so what, you don't call me a messenger, your witness is nothing in front of Allah's witness. Allah has already testified that I'm a witness. Allahu shahidun bayni wa baynakum, that Allah is a witness between you and me. وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. And even the people of knowledge, they are also witness to my prophethood. I don't need your testification. This is referring to the Jews and Christians who had the true knowledge of the scriptures, and they accepted the message of the Prophet ﷺ, and they testified that he's a true prophet, like Abdullah bin Salam. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us understanding of the ayat in the surah. We shall take a short break for Asr. قولي استغفر الله ربنا من كل ذنب ونتوب إليك ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Surah Ibrahim. This is a Makki surah, and this surah was revealed during intense persecution in Mecca. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presents truth and falsehood, and then He asks the people to use their intellect to choose the right path. This surah, even in the previous surah, you'll see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presents truth and falsehood, and you choose. You tell me what you want to choose. Allah is not forcing us to do anything, just giving you the option to choose what you want. So we begin. Alif Lam Ra, Huruf al-Muqatta'at, we don't know what they mean. Kitabun anzalnahu ilayk, a book which we have sent down to you. لِتُخْرِجَ النَّاسَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ, so that you can take people out of darknesses to light. So the purpose of book is mentioned here. Why was the book sent down? What is the Quran? Why is the Quran sent down for? So that the Prophet ﷺ and the believers can take people out of darknesses into light. And we see that darknesses are plural, Zulumat, and Nur is singular. Why? Because misguidance are of many kinds, many shades of misguidance, but light is only one, the deen of Islam. بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ, with the permission of your master, إِلَى صِرَاطِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ, to the path of the mighty and Hamid, the praiseworthy. Who is He? Allah. الَّذِي لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, Allah to whom belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth. وَوَيْلٌ لِلْكَافِرِينَ مِنْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ, may there be destruction for the disbelievers. مِنْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ, from a severe punishment. Wail is also a valley in hellfire. So may the disbelievers have Jahannam, a valley in Jahannam, min adab shadid, from a severe punishment. الَّذِينَ يَسْتَحِبُّونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ, who are the disbelievers? They are those people who prefer the worldly life over the hereafter. Look, Allah is not saying they don't believe in the hereafter. They do believe in hereafter, but they prefer the dunya over the hereafter. A Muslim can also have this attitude that they prefer this life over the hereafter. وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and they stop people from the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا, and they seek crookedness and misguidance. أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ, those are the ones who have strayed far away from the straight path. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. Here's another thing about the messengers. Allah says, we have not sent the messengers except that they spoke the same tongue of the people, same language of the people. That every messenger who came to any nation spoke their language, meaning knew their knew their slang and knew their language and knew their way of life and culture. لِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. Why? So that they can clarify to them. And if the message is from your own community, you can understand it better than someone from an outside world. فَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. So He misguides, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguides whomever He wants. وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ, and He guides whomever He wants. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ, and is almighty and all wise. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مُوسَى بِآيَاتِنَا, بِآيَاتِنَا. And we in fact sent Musa alayhi salam with our ayat. And أَخْرِجْ why? And أَخْرِجْ قَوْمَكَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. With the same purpose, so that he can take out people from darknesses to light. وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ. So that he can remind them of the good days of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The days when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showered His mercy on them. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِكُلِّ صَبَّارٍ شَكُورٍ. Verily in it are many miraculous signs for every patient and grateful person. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى. Remember when Musa alayhi salam said to his nation, لِقَوْمِهِ اذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. Remember the favor of Allah upon you. إِذْ أَنْجَاكُمْ مِنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ. When He rescued you from Fir'aun, from the family of Fir'aun. يَسُومُونَكُمْ سُوءَ الْعَذَابِ. Who was inflicting on you an evil punishment, persecution. وَيُذَبِّحُونَ بِنَاكُمْ. And He was slaughtering and killing your sons. وَيَسْتَحْيُونَ نِسَاءَكُمْ. And He was making your women folks live. وَفِي ذَلِكُمْ بَلَاءٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ عَظِيمٌ. In it is a great blessing from your master. Right? The fact that He saved you, there is a great blessing. Bala, by the way, has two meanings. It could be trial or blessing. So here, it could be blessing because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rescued them from Fir'aun and his punishment. وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ. And when تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ, when your Lord, and remember when your Lord made the announcement, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are grateful, I will increase you. This is the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want increase, who doesn't want increase in wealth? Who doesn't want increase in life and good deeds and all good things? Allah says, if you want azidannakum, an increase, then you have to be grateful. You thank me and I'm going to increase you. Increase you in what? Allah doesn't mention it, because I'm going to increase you in everything, in your children, wealth, property, good deeds, and your status, good name, respect. Everything will increase you. وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ. But if you're ungrateful, إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. Know that my punishment is severe. Ayah number 8, Surah Ibrahim. وَقَالَ Musa. And Musa said, إِن تَكْفُرُوا. If you disbelieve Bani Israel, أَنْتُمْ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. You and everybody in this dunya disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. Or don't show gratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then know that Allah is ghani, He's above want, and He's praiseworthy on Himself. He doesn't need praise. He doesn't need to be thanked. He's already great. أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ نَبَأُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Did the news of the people before you come to you? قَوْمِ نُوح, the people of Nuh alayhi salam, وَعَاد وَثَمُود, Aad and Thamud, the nation of Hud alayhi salam and Salih alayhi salam, وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ, and the news of those people who came after them. لَا يَعْلَمُهُمْ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. No one knows them except Allah. No one knows what happened to them except Allah. جاءتهم رسلهم بالبينات. Many messages came to them with clear proofs. فردوا أيديهم في أفواههم. But they put their hands in their mouth. Meaning that when messages would come, they would not, hands in the mouth, this is an idiom which means that they showed anger. Putting hands in the mouth to show that kind of anger, right? Rage. فَرُدُّوا أَيْدِيَهُمْ. That they would put their hands in their mouth to show their anger. وَقَالُوا. Or they would not accept it. That's what it means to take the hand away. وَقَالُوا. And they would say, إِنَّا كَفَرْنَا بِمَا أُرْسِلْتُمْ بِهِ. They would say, we have disbelieved in what has sent down to you. وَإِنَّا لَفِي شَكٍّ مِمَّا تَدْعُونَنَا إِلَيْهِ مُرِيبٍ. And they would say, we are in clear doubt in what you are calling us to. We are in full of suspicion. قَالَتْ رُسُلُهُمْ. But the messengers told them, أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٍّ. Is there any doubt about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. He is the creator of the heavens and the earth. يَدْعُوكُمْ لِيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ مِنْ ذُنُوبِكُمْ. Allah is calling you to accept His message so that He can forgive you for your sins. وَيُؤَخِّرَكُمْ إِلَىٰ أَجْلٍ مُسَمَّى. And so that He can put it off and put the punishment away for a set time and put the day of judgment for a set time. قالوا. They said, إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُنَا. The response was that you are a human being just like us. تُرِيدُونَ أَن تَصُدُّونَ عَمَّا كَانَ يَعْبُدُ آبَاؤُنَا. They would say that you are calling us to your way because you don't want us to follow the path of our forefathers. You don't want us to have a good life. فَأْتُونَا بِسُلْطَانٍ مُبِينٍ. So bring us a clear authority, bring us the punishment that you are saying. قَالَتْ, or a miracle. قَالَتْ لَهُمْ رُسُلُهُمْ. So the messengers told them, إِن نَحْنُ إِلَّا بَشْرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. We are only human beings like you. ولكن Allah يَمُنُّ عَلَى مَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He favors whomever He wants amongst His servants. That yes, we're human beings like you, but يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد. That has been revealed to me. I am special because revelation has come to me. وما كان لنا أن نأتيكم بسلطان إلا بإذن الله. It is not on us. It is not in the capacity of a messenger to bring any authority or any proof or any miracle without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And believers should only rely on Him. وَمَا لَنَا أَلَّا نَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Now these are messengers speaking to themselves and telling, what is wrong with us? Why wouldn't we worship and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَقَدْ هَدَانَا سُبُلَنَا. When He has guided us to our ways. وَلَنَنْصُرَنَّ عَلَى مَا آذَيْتُمُونَا. And Allah says, and they said, وَلَنَنْصُرَنَّ عَلَى مَا آذَيْتُمُونَا. And we will endure and be patient with whatever you persecute us with. Whatever punishment and whatever mockery you're doing, we'll be patient. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. And only in Allah should those who rely, should rely. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. So those who disbelieve said, لِرُسُلِهِمْ, to their messengers, لَنُخْرِجَنَّكُمْ مِنْ أَرْضِنَا. We are going to get you out of this land. We don't want you in this country. وَلَا تَعُودُنَّ فِي مِلَّتِنَا. If we don't get you out of here, we will revert you to our religion. We will turn you back as disbelievers. فَأَوْحَى إِلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ. So their master called out to them, لَنُهْلِكَنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ. We will destroy the transgressors. وَلَنُسْكِنَنَّكُمُ الْأَرْضَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ. We will settle you in the land after them. That will destroy the transgressors and bring a different nation. ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامِي وَخَافَ وَعِيدِ. And that will be for those, and this will be for those who fear my position, fear before me, وَخَافَ وَعِيدِ, and fear my threats and my warnings. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give settlement and give success to those people who fear Him, fear the standing in front of Him, and fear His warnings. وَاسْتَفْتَحُوا. And they were seeking Allah's decision. The disbelievers were seeking Allah's decision to bring on. وَخَابَ كُلِّ جَبَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ. And every single tyrant, resisting stubbornly person failed, right? Was destroyed. وَمِن وَرَائِهِ جَهَنَّمْ. Behind him is Jahannam. وَيُسْقَى مِن مَاءٍ صَدِيدٍ. And what's coming ahead is Jahannam for him. And وَيُسْقَى مِن مَاءٍ صَدِيدٍ. And he'll be made to drink water of pus, right? مَاءٍ صَدِيدٍ. Whatever bodily liquids that comes out, that liquid is what will be given to them as drink in Jahannam. مَاءٍ صَدِيدٍ يَتَجَرَّعُهُ. He will gulp it down. وَلَا يَكَادُ يُسِيغُهُ. Even though it's going to be hard for him, he will take it down. وَيَأْتِيهِ الْمَوْتِ. And death will come مِن كُلِّ مَكَانٍ. From every single direction. وَمَا هُوَ بِمَيِّتٍ. And he will not die. And he will not die. وَمِن وَرَائِهِ عَذَابٌ غَلِيظٌ. And above and over him is a severe punishment. This is a punishment for those people who rejected, right? That pus will be given and they will swallow it down because there's nothing else to drink. But they will drink, and even though it's going to be hard for them, and they will want to die, but death will not come to them. مَثُلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ. The example of those people who disbelieve in their master is أَعْمَالُهُمْ is their deeds are كَرَمَادٍ اشْتَدَّتْ بِهِ الرِّيحُ فِي يَوْمٍ عَاصِفٍ. It's like their deeds are made into ashes. Those people who disbelieve, all the good work and charity work and whatever they have done, everything will become into ashes. And it's like a hard wind is blowing on a windy day. Like a wind, really, if you it means like a really windy day. Imagine having ashes on a windy day. What's going to happen to those ashes? It's going to go all over the place. You cannot benefit and hold any of it. That's what will happen to those people on the day of judgment. All their deeds will be like ashes blowing away on a windy day. And this is for the people who don't have good intentions in their actions. That they will come with mountains of good deeds, but will become like ashes. لا يقدرون مما كسبوا على شيء. They will have no power to grasp it and acquire it, anything. ذلك هو الضلال البعيد. That is a person who has gone away, far away from the straight path. ألم ترى أن الله خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق. Didn't you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heavens and the earth with purpose, with truth? If He wants, He can remove you. وَيَأْتِ بِخَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. And He can bring another nation. It's not difficult. وَمَا ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ بِعَزِيزٍ. And it is not difficult on Allah's part. Allah can remove you and me anytime. Ayah number 21, Surah Ibrahim. وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. They will come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all together, and they will say, فَقَالَ الضُّعَفَاءُ لِلَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا. So those people who are weak will say to those people who are arrogant on the day of judgment, "Inna kunna lakum taba'an." They'll say, "We used to follow you. فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُغْنُونَ عَنَّا مِنْ عَذَابِ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ." We were following you. We respected you. We did so much to you. Can you protect us from Allah's punishment today? These are weak people who are following the strong people in the community. قَالُوا لَوْ هَدَانَ اللَّهُ لَهَدَيْنَاكُمْ. They will say, had Allah guided us, we would have guided you. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْنَا. It is same. There is no difference on us. أَجَزِعْنَا أَمْ صَبَرْنَا مَا لَنَا مِنْ مَحِيزٍ. There is no difference whether we are worried about what will happen or whether we are patient. We cannot escape Allah's punishment today. There is no way we can help you out. Today is time for us to look, who do we follow? Who do we follow and who is our role model? If someone who does not believe and someone who is taking you away from Allah, if that person is your role model, on the day of judgment say, I don't have the power, I'm not guided, I cannot do, whether if I'm worried or not worried, I'm going to face that punishment. وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانِ. And then shaitan will stand up when everything has happened. وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانِ will say, لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرِ. When the matter has been settled, meaning people who go to Jannah will go to Jannah, people who go to Jahannam will go to Jahannam, shaitan will stand up. He will have a member in Jahannam, a puppet made out of fire. He will stand on top of that pedestal and then he is going to speak. إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعْدَكُمْ. Indeed Allah has promised you وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ, a true promise. وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ. And even I promised you something. فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ. But I disappointed you, I broke that. وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ. And I have no power over you. إِلَّا, don't believe me today, I have no power over you, I never told you to do something. إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ. All I did is I called you to it. فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. You answered that call. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not blame me, blame yourself today. مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِكُمْ. I am not going to help you. وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِي. And you will not be helped either, you cannot help me either. إِنِّي كَفَرْتُ بِمَا أَشْرَكْتُمُونِ مِنْ قَبْلِ. I disbelieve in you. أَشْرَكْتُمُونِ مِنْ قَبْلِ. I disbelieve, I don't say, I never told you to follow me, I disassociate myself from you. مِنْ قَبْلِ إِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Verily the transgressors will have a painful punishment. This is the very person who is telling you to do bad things and follow him. On the day of judgment, he will say, it's not my fault. All shaitan can do is tell you to do something. That's it. Shaitan has no power. He's right actually. What he's saying is not lying. Right? And it's good. And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposed this to us. Allah says, عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. وَأُدْخِلَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe will be made to enter. Those who believe and did righteous deeds will be made to enter جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِ الْأَنْهَارِ, into gardens under which rivers flow. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ. They will remain in it with the permission of their master. تَحِيَّتُهُمْ فِيهَا سَلَامٌ. And the greeting would be salam, right? Peace and the only good time. Nothing, no harm, no difficulty, nothing. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ ضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا كَلِمَةً طَيِّبًا. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, didn't you look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an example, strikes an example of a good word. كَلِمَةً طَيِّبًا. A good word. كَشَجَرَةٍ طَيِّبًا is like a good tree. أَصْلُهَا ثَابِتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. So what is this word? Allah says this word is La ilaha illallah. Having taqwa, having oneness of Allah, believing oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like a tree. The person who has La ilaha illallah is like a person who is like a tree whose roots are firm. أصلها ثابت وفرعها في السماء. And the branches go up very high. تؤتي أكلها كل حين بإذن ربها. It gives fruit in all seasons. This tree has three qualities. Roots are firm, branches go up very high, and it gives fruits in all seasons. And a believer, his iman is firm, and his actions go up very high in all directions, and he gives fruits all season. He benefits others all season. وَيَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالَ لِلنَّاسِ. And that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives examples to the people. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. So that they remember and bear in mind. وَمَثَلُ كَلِمَةٍ خَبِيثَةٍ. But on the flip side, the example of a bad word, كَشَجَرَةٍ خَبِيثَةٍ, and it's like a bad tree. اجْتُثَّتْ مِنْ فَوْقِ الْأَرْضِ, which is uprooted from the earth, مَا لَهَا مِنْ قَرَارٍ, having no stability. That something happens, a wind comes, this tree just falls out. Right? A believer is firm but a disbeliever, the roots just he follows the people. You know, when you see people following, like they want to fit in, that's because they don't have strong iman. They follow the wind. That's why hawa actually means wind as well, and desires. So when you follow hawa, it means you're following the wind, you go with your desires, wherever the people is going. But Allah says, a believer is firm. يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Allah makes those people who believe firm in their word, La ilaha illallah, in this dunya, wa fil akhirah, and also in the hereafter. وَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leads astray whoever who transgresses. وَيَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. And Allah does whatever He wants. أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِينَ بَدَّلُوا. Didn't you look at those people who بَدَّلُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ كُفْرًا, who replaced the ni'mah of Allah with disbelief? Who are these people? The Quraysh. They replaced the ni'mah of Allah with disbelief. How? The Prophet ﷺ came. He was a ni'mah to them, a blessing to them. But they replaced him with a punishment for them because they rejected him. Ni'matan, ni'matallahi kufran, wa hallu qawmahum dar al-bawar. And the people settled on being destroyed and being under Allah's punishment. Jahannam yaslawnaha. Jahannam will be their place, they will be burnt in. Wa bi'sal qarar. What a horrible place of rest that is. Wa ja'alu lillahi andadan liyudillu an sabili. They make equals with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that they can mislead the people from His path. Qul, tell them, tamatta'u, enjoy, fa inna masirakum ila an-nar. Verily your destination is fire. Enjoy for some time because you are heading towards fire. قُلْ لِعِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Say to my servants who believe that what will happen to them, that يُقِيمُونَ, those believers who يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ, that they should perform salah, join together. سَرَابِيلُهُمْ مِنْ قَطِرَانٍ. Their garments will be made from tar, the thing that you use to make roads. وَتَغْشَى وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارِ. And their fire, and the fire will cover their faces. لِيَجْزِيَ اللَّهُ كُلَّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ. So that Allah can reward or punish every single soul for what it acquired. إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ. Verily Allah is swift in taking punishment. هَذَا بَلَاغٌ لِلنَّاسِ. This is the announcement, a proclamation, a message for all the people. وَلِيُنذَرُوا بِهِ. So that they may be warned through this Quran. وَلِيَعْلَمُوا. And so that they know أَنَّمَا هُوَ إِلَهُ وَاحِدٌ. So that they know that He is one ilah. وَلِيَذَّكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. So the people of intellect can bear in mind and take a lesson from this. That brings us to the end of Surah Ibrahim. So as you can see, this surah is revealed near the end, right? When the persecution was severe. And so the language you can see is very tough. It's very strong. And so this is a motivation, right, for the believer that makes them continue their da'wah. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps us steadfast and that we worship Him and we work on those 9 qualities of ulul albab. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقي ورضا نفسي وزنة عرشي ومداد كلماتي. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وبصارنا وقواتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا وانصرنا على من عادانا ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا إلى النار مصيرنا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مؤنسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي القيامة شفيعا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.